Welcome to Wawasan Wire today. We're talking about a pretty significant announcement from the Minister of Housing and Local Government, Nga Kor Ming, concerning urban renewal plans here in Malaysia.
That's right.
And the core idea really is quite striking. He's saying all the costs, absolutely everything for these future projects, it'll be entirely on the developers. Zero government funds involved. Paints a picture, doesn't it? Reshaping our cities without touching the public purse.
It certainly does. It's a very ambitious direction, especially right now with the economy as it is.
Yeah.
The big question, the real challenge, is how they'll actually pull it off. It touches on some big themes: urban development, government spending, the private sector's role.
High stakes, definitely.
Very high stakes. Huge potential upsides, of course, but, well, it's complicated.
So Minister Nga mentioned this will all happen through new legislation, the Urban Renewal Bill.
Yes, that's the vehicle.
He's framing it as a way to sort of streamline the whole rebuilding process, making sure laws work together, avoiding power struggles, basically making things more efficient. Sounds sensible.
It sounds like something we've needed for a while, honestly. The ambition of the bill is really about creating one clear legal path.
Right.
Because, let's face it, urban redevelopment here, it's often been a bureaucratic nightmare. You're navigating so many different laws. Sometimes they even conflict.
Tell me about it.
So this push suggests a real desire to cut through that red tape. It sets up a system where, okay, qualified developers take on projects.
Qualified being the key word.
Absolutely. And they'll operate under the supervision of both federal and state committees, with the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, MHGLG, as the main watchdog.
Okay.
How effective those checks and balances are, that's going to be crucial, given, the history of some development projects here. Will it really stop the delays and problems we've seen before?
That is the critical point, isn't it? All these layers of oversight. I mean, do you think this model can truly guarantee developer accountability? And maybe more importantly for people like us, the quality of what actually gets built?
That's the multi-million ringgit question, right? The idea is to shift the financial risk off the government onto the private sector.
Which sounds good in principle.
It does, but it demands incredibly strong oversight. We know what happens when accountability is weak.
We do.
This bill promises collaboration, which sounds great on paper, but the devil's in the details, always. What makes a developer qualified? How transparent are the committee decisions? What real power does MHGLG have to enforce standards or penalize failures?
Needs teeth, not just words.
Exactly. It has to work in the real world, under pressure, not just look good in a document.
Now, shifting focus slightly, Minister also made it clear this isn't just about new buildings. He specifically linked the Urban Renewal Bill to tackling a really persistent issue.
The abandoned projects.
Yes, exactly. Those derelict sites left behind when developers just walk away. And also addressing safety issues in older parts of cities. Crucially, he said these abandoned places, especially housing projects where buyers' rights are involved, will come under this new bill for protection.
That's a huge point.
And that the ministry, MHGLG, will step in to help those owners and buyers stuck in this awful situation.
This is incredibly significant. Abandoned projects, they're more than just an eyesore. They're a real social wound.
Absolutely.
Think about it. People pour their life savings into a home, and it just becomes this concrete skeleton. They're stuck with loans for nothing.
Devastating.
And these sites, whether they were meant to be condos or shops, they just rot. They attract crime, drag down whole neighborhoods. The scale of this across Malaysia, it's significant.
Yeah.
Thousands of families affected, land tied up uselessly. So bringing these directly under the bill, tasking the ministry with helping, that signals a real commitment. Not just preventing future problems, but actively cleaning up past messes. It acknowledges the huge human and economic cost.
It really does. And for those thousands of people affected, the homeowners, the buyers, hearing the ministry will assist must offer some real hope. How much do you think this could actually reduce that social pressure? Financial stress, the emotional toll.
The potential impact is massive. It's not just the money, is it? It's the years of uncertainty, the feeling of being let down, the loss of trust.
Completely.
When the government steps in with a proper legal structure, it gives people a pathway, maybe finding new developers, maybe legal help, something they often couldn't find before.
A way forward.
Exactly. It's about more than just bricks and mortar. It's about restoring some stability, some faith. Now, the how needs defining, of course. What does assist actually mean in practice? But just including these projects is a big step. It suggests a more unified, proactive approach to a long-running, painful problem. Could be a turning point for many.
Minister Nga also talked about the wider benefits, the economic and social pluses from this bill.
Right, the bigger picture outcomes.
He mentioned things like increased tax revenue for the government, better quality of life for citizens, and stimulating local economic opportunities. Sounds like a win-win-win.
Well, these are definitely the ideal goals you aim for with good urban planning. Let's break that down a bit.
Okay.
Increased tax revenue. Yeah, that could come from new property taxes, transaction fees, taxes on new businesses, even income tax from new jobs. Helps the national coffers.
Makes sense.
Improve quality of life. That could mean better parks, modern infrastructure, maybe better transport links in renewed areas, safer environments, things that directly make people feel better about where they live.
Tangible improvements.
And local economic opportunities, obviously construction gets a boost. But think beyond that. Architects, engineers, planners, and then all the local shocks and services that benefit when an area is revitalized.
A ripple effect.
A definite ripple effect. The major challenge here, though, is making sure these benefits are shared fairly.
Ah, yes. The equity question.
Exactly. Does urban renewal push out existing communities? Does it lead to gentrification where only the wealthy can afford to live or run a business? That balance is absolutely crucial if you really want to benefit the people.
A very important point.
Right.
So, looking at everything Minister Nga Kor Ming has said, this whole push, what do you see as his main intentions here? What's driving this agenda right now?
I think the intention is pretty clear, and strategically it makes a lot of sense.
How so?
Well, the main goal seems to be using private sector money and expertise to solve public urban problems, and critically, doing it without adding to the government's own financial load.
Right, the developer-funded aspect.
Yeah. It's that two birds, one stone idea. Drive urban upgrades and tackle those politically awkward, abandoned projects, all while keeping public spending down. That's always appealing.
Especially now.
Especially now. But, and he stressed this himself, success depends on some key things. Very careful planning, sustainable funding models, mainly from the developers, and, crucially, really tight cooperation.
Between everyone involved.
Everyone. Federal, state, local government, developers, and, importantly, the homebuyers themselves. The vision is there, but making it work operationally, that's where the complexity lies.
And isn't that always the sticking point, this kind of multi-party cooperation?
Yeah.
It sounds great, but you've got so many players, often with different agendas.
Absolutely.
How do you actually coordinate all that, balance those interests? Isn't that potentially the biggest single hurdle?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. That is the crux of it. We've seen it before in big projects here, haven't we? Multi-agency coordination can just grind things to a halt.
Land acquisition issues, political differences between state and federal.
All of that. So the government's role here isn't just setting rules. It has to be an incredibly active, skilled coordinator, bridging gaps, sorting out disputes, keeping things moving.
More like a conductor than just a referee.
That's a good way to put it. And when MHGLG says they'll keep strengthening policies and frameworks, that tells you they know how complex this is. It's not straightforward. It needs diplomacy, negotiation, and a firm hand to keep everyone pulling in the same direction.
So the success really hinges on navigating that coordination challenge effectively.
In a large part, yes. That will likely define whether this urban renewal bill achieves its ambitious goals or not.
So after all this discussion, what are your thoughts, really, for you listening? Do you think this model developers footing the whole bill is actually workable here in Malaysia? What are your hopes, or maybe your worries, about this urban renewal bill? We've covered a lot today, really digging into Minister Nga Kor Ming's vision for urban renewal. It's definitely an initiative aiming high, tackling big city challenges without straining government finances. A bold plan, no doubt.
It is. And that potential transformation, especially fixing the blight of abandoned buildings, that's something many people are desperately hoping to see realized.
Yeah.
This bill could be a major turning point for our cities, for the communities within them. The real measure won't just be new buildings, though. It'll be improved lives, restored trust. That's the true test.
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.